Okay. Hello, everyone. Very good morning to one and all. Whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Please comment in the chat box. Okay, thank you. So, in the last lecture, we have discussed various phases and the respective steps under that particular phases uh, in the last lecture for value analysis and value engineering. Okay. So that phases are nothing but uh, first is orientation phase. In that we have to select, we have to form the team. Uh, Orientation phase. First one is the orientation phase. Then the second one is information phase. Then third one is functional analysis phase. Fourth one is a creative phase. Fifth one is the evaluation phase. Sixth one is a development phase. Seventh one is the presentation, eighth one is the implementation, and we have segregated the follow phase as a ninth phase. Okay. So and also we have discussed the uh, 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 various steps under particular phase. Okay, various steps under the particular phase. So that will provide the appropriate guideline while implementing the value analysis in any of the firm, in any of the ventura. Okay. So I have also discussed yesterday that many of the software companies are doing or performing this task for many of the other companies. Okay, let us say any one company which is situated in America. Okay, which is situated in America and manufacturing one car. Okay, and its cost is near about 25 lakh rupees. Okay, let us say the cost of manufacturing in one of the car in America is 25 lakh rupees, and that particular company want to establish the plant in India. Okay, same car they want to manufacture in India. Okay, so for that purpose they need to find out what will be the value of that particular car, or the manufacturing cost of that particular car in India. Okay, they want to know, and what will be the advantage if you establish that plant in India. Okay, so this is the part of a value analysis. This is the part of a value analysis, and uh, when they are performing the value analysis, each and every part and their specification will be taken into consideration, and according to the functionality of that particular component or that particular part or that particular product will be considered, and the value analysis will be done on that, and how much cost uh, 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 will require to produce the similar kind of product in India. Okay, similar kind of a product in India or in UK, in China, in Thailand, anywhere. Okay, so such a projects are available with the IT industries like TCS. Okay, like TCS. So most of the mechanical engineering working in IT sector and doing these kinds of a jobs. Okay, doing these kinds of a job. So let us say any of the now uh, Elon Musk want to establish the electrical vehicle plant in India. Okay, and he don't know, or the people working for him in America don't know the situation of India. Okay, and the material prices, then manufacturing cost, availability of materials, then all these things. Okay, all these things will require specific knowledge, domain knowledge, and the experience in that particular field. Okay, in that automobile field. So for that purpose the mechanical engineers are hired, and these mechanical engineers performing this task, and they will provide the final manufacturing cost to the enterprise, to the MNC companies, which does not have the plant in India. Okay, which does not have the plant in India, and this uh, this idea of a cost, okay, reduced idea of a cost will be presented, and then only that particular firm will take the decision whether we have to establish or not that particular plant in India or any other companies. Okay, in any other companies, if the situations are match up with the requirement, then obviously that companies will ready to establish the plant in India. Now the news are coming out that the Samsung Mobile want to establish the plant in Tamil Nadu, India. Then Apple Mobile want to establish the plant in India, in any of the South Indian uh, we can say that South Indian states, any of the South Indian, maybe Tamil Nadu or Kerala. So because the facilities, whatever the facilities required to establish that particular plant is available there, and they have done that much research, or they have provided this research related to value analysis to any of the firm, and on that particular firm will perform the task of a value analysis or value engineering on that particular project, and the final cost of a manufacturing in a disintegrated manner will be provided to the owner company, and they will take the decision on the same. Okay, so for this purpose, this value analysis and value engineering is most important in the engineering sector uh, for any product. Okay, for any product. So it is not a specific it is not applicable for the specific firm. Okay, so it is not applicable only for production department, it is not applicable only for design department, it is also applicable for the IT sectors, it is also applicable for we can say that the marketing sector also, it is also applicable for the sales. Okay, and on that basis the data will be created, that data will be represented, and the decisions will be taken on the basis of a data. Okay, so this is the positive point of a value analysis, and you are learning these things in a final year. Okay, so we have discussed some of the concepts related to this phases, and um, the steps involved in each of the phases. Okay, each of the phase. Then the next one is nothing but the 10 principles of a value analysis. Okay, so for the guideline purpose, these 10 principles are very much important. Okay, these 10 principles are very much important, and this will provide the firm decision, or it will guide to the task manager or a value engineer to take the decision. Okay, it will guide to task manager, or we can say that the value engineer, or that particular controller, value controller, to take the decision. Okay, whether one have to go for the value analysis of a particular product or not, whether we have to select that particular product or not, then what to do, or and what not to do. Okay, while doing value analysis, what to do and what not to do. So for that purpose, these 10 principles of a value analysis are very much important. Okay, these 10 principles of a value analysis are very much important. So we'll go one by one. The first principle is, do not use a component or a part that does not contribute to the value of the product. Okay, do not use a component or a part that does not contribute to the value of the product. Okay, so let us say if you are manufacturing one of the assembly, or if you are doing the assembly process, and in that the some gaskets are required, some small components are required, the rubber is required. So the value analysis of such a product whose cost is already very less, and the functionality is fulfilled by that particular component, already fulfilled by that component, then we need not to go for the value analysis of such a product which does not contribute to the value of the product, which does not contribute the value of the product. Okay, this is the first principle for the value analysis. Then second one is, do not use a component or part whose cost is not proportional to its usefulness. Okay, do not use a component or a part whose cost is not proportional to its usefulness. Okay, usefulness. So usefulness means what is the purpose of that particular product? That is nothing but usefulness. So spanners you are using, the removing or the tightening, losing or tightening of the bolt is the function of that particular spanner. Okay, so that is nothing but what? Usefulness. Then we can say that the refrigerator. So in the refrigerator, we can say that refrigerator is used to cool the stuff which will be put up in that particular compartment. Okay, so that is the usefulness. Then if you say that what is unwanted part, we can say that the design of that particular product, the appearance of that spanner will not that much useful. Okay, so appearance for the spanner is not useful. We can say that in we can say that in refrigerator, uh, uh, if you are providing some extra tagging or extra over designing, or we can say that the glamorous nature of that particular product will not be a useful for the product. Okay, so most we can say that the most of the refrigerators are used as a plain color. Okay, most of the refrigerator are in plain color, or some of the designs will be provided. So need not to waste the money to provide the more glamorous to that particular product. So it will not add up the value for its usefulness. Okay, then do not provide any features to the component or finish the product that are not absolutely necessary. Okay, the third guideline or the principle is do not provide any features to the component or finish the product that are not absolutely necessary. Then fourth principle is accept the change of part of the required quality can made out of a cheaper and easily available material. Okay, so for that purpose I have given one example that the most of the car companies, most of the bike manufacturing companies replacing the steel component, stainless steel component, or the cast iron component by aluminum components or a fiber components. Okay, so the fiber is available in a cheaper rate as compared to the steel. Then we can say that aluminum, we can say that the volume to weight ratio is less. So for that purpose, these aluminum components are useful and they are sustainable for a required life span of that particular product. So whenever it is required, whenever it is required, without uh, changing the quality of the product, uh, they can be manufactured by using the cheaper material. They can be manufactured by using the cheaper material. So accept the change of a part of the required quality can be made out of a cheaper and easily available material. Cheaper and easily available. 1 minute.
Hello, sir. You are not audible.
Hello, now it is audible.
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Okay, okay. How much minutes it is not audible?
Last 5 minutes.
Okay, okay, okay. So sorry for uh, the same. So last we have discussed that uh, accept the change of parts of the required quality can be made out of a cheaper and easily available material. Okay, but uh, 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 easily available and the cheaper material. Okay, so let us say take the example that some of the manufacturing companies are replacing the cast iron components and the stainless steel components by fibers, or we can say that the aluminum material. Okay, aluminum material, because the purpose will be fulfilled. Okay, some of the bike components, you can see that some of the bike components are made up of aluminum, and some of the components are made up of fiber. So purpose is fulfilled, that, and the required quality is maintained. Okay, required quality is maintained. So the fourth principle is accept the change of part of the required quality can be made out of the cheaper and easily available material. Okay, then fifth one is if the part of a required quality is made by a process or a method costing less, then do use the alternative process or a method. Okay, so here I would like to give the example that there are different kinds of processes available: joining processes, forging processes, then the foundry or the casting techniques are available. Then it's a decision of an engineer which process we need to apply, manufacturing process we need to apply to produce that particular component. So for that purpose, it is most required thing is that that particular component should be with a desired quality. It should be manufactured with a desired quality, and the cost of that component should be less, or the cost of manufacturing uh, should be very less. Okay, that is the requirement of any engineer, or that is the requirement of a value analyzer. Okay, so n number of processes available in front of engineer, and that engineer need to take the decision that which process will provide you the desired quality, and with a cheaper cost, okay. So some of the products can be manufactured by using the foundry technology. Some of the products can be manufactured by using the joining technologies, like uh, we know that the joining technologies like welding, okay, brazing. So these are the joining technology. Then some of the components can be manufactured by removing the material, or by using the CNC VMC machines. Okay, so there are n number of various processes available in front of a engineer, and he has to, or that particular person has to take the decision on that particular front, that which process will produce the desired quality component with a cheaper cost. Okay, and on that basis uh, the product will be manufactured. Okay, then the sixth one is use standard parts whenever possible. Use standard parts whenever possible. So we know that there are different standards you used for the design purpose. Okay, there are different standards used for the design purpose. So if you take the example of a boiler, if you take the example of a heat exchanger, so different standards are used at that place. Okay, so standards means what? It will ensure the safety of the worker, and also it will ensure the lifespan of that particular product. Okay, lifespan or the reliability of that particular product. That is nothing but what? The standards used for the manufacturing purpose, and the standards related to the assembly. If you consider that, if the boilers are required some uh, pressure control valves, flow control valves, direction control valves. So these are the standard components. We should not take the unstandard component in that case. Okay. So then the seventh one is use the material part best suited for the purpose. use the material part best suited for the purpose. Here one example, the simple example I would like to give. uh, if you went to bakery to purchase of a cake, and and you demand the knife to the bakery, so he will provide the plastic knife. Okay. uh, okay, the purpose is to cut the cake. Okay, the purpose is to cut the cake. There's a similar knife if you use to cut the vegetables. Okay, then the purpose will not be fulfilled. So for that purpose you require more strength knife, and for that purpose you have to purchase the metal knife. Okay, so according to the purpose the material should be selected. According to the purpose the material should be selected. So use the material part best suited for the purpose. Then if you say that for the material removing purpose you required some tools. Okay, so tools should be having higher strength than the base metal or the product metal. Okay, so it should be manufactured by hardened steel metals material, and which will be used to remove the material of the product. Okay, or we can say that for the machining purpose we can use that tool. So according to the purpose the material will be selected. According to the purpose the material will be selected. So use the material part best suited for the purpose. Best suited for the purpose. Okay, then the eighth one is the cost of the component used should be proportional to its use or function. The cost of the component used should be proportional to its use or a function. Okay, as we have discussed that in first principle, that do not use a component or a part that does not contribute to the value of the product. Okay, so value means what? It's a proportion of a functions to its cost. That is nothing but a value. Okay, so similar in a contrast, the eighth principle is that the cost of the component used should be proportional to its use or a function. Okay, so if the its proportional will not be matched up, then the value of that particular component will be less. As we know that the cost will more and the functionality of that particular component is less, in that case the valuation will be less. Okay, then use the material part best suited for the purpose. Same thing, use the material part best suited for the purpose. Then purchase the part instead of manufacturing in-house if suitable supplier can provide the part of a good quality at the reasonable price. Okay, so purchase the part instead of a manufacturing in-house if suitable supplier can provide the parts of a good quality at the reasonable price. So here come the vendors. Okay, so if the vendors will provide the similar part with the desired quality, then that parts with a cheaper rate, then that parts can be bought out from that particular vendors, and that will be used for the products. Okay, for the product. So if you say that most of the you see the most of the brands situated in Pune, like Tata Motors, like Mahindra and Mahindra. So what they are doing, they are just doing the assembly of the components. They are just doing the assembly of the components, and their most of the parts are bought out from their own vendors. So for that purpose they rely on the vendors, and they develop the vendors also. So that that will be profit for the vendor, and that will be profit for the industry. Okay, so purchase the parts instead of manufacturing in-house if suitable supplier can provide the part of a good quality at the reasonable price. Okay, so please note down this particular 10 principles of a value analysis, which will be useful to during the application of a value analysis for any of the products, and or it will be useful to reduce the cost of the product also. Okay, to reduce the cost of the product also. So write down 10 principles of a value analysis. 10 principles of a value analysis. 10 principles of a value analysis. 10 principles of value analysis. First one, do not use a component, do not use a component or part, do not use a component or part that does not contribute, that does not contribute, that does not contribute to the value of the product, to the value of the product. Do not use a component or part that does not contribute to the value of the product. Then second one, do not use a component or part, do not use a component or part whose cost is not proportional, whose cost is not proportional to its usefulness, to its usefulness. Do not use a component or part whose cost is not proportional to its usefulness. Third one, do not provide any features, do not provide any features to the component, to the component or finish the product, or finish the product, or finish the product that are not absolutely necessary, that are not absolutely necessary, that are not absolutely necessary. Do not provide any features to the component or finish the product, or finish the product that are not absolutely necessary. Then fourth one, accept the change of part, accept the change of the part, part of the required quality, accept the change of part of the required quality of required quality can be made out, can be made out, can be made out of a cheaper, of cheaper and easily available material, and easily available material, and easily available material. Fifth one, if the part of a required, if the part of required quality, if the part of required quality is made by a process, is made by a process or a method, or method costing less, costing less, costing less, comma, then do use the alternative process, then do use the alternative process, then do use the alternative process or method, then do use the alternative process or method. Then sixth one, use standard parts, use standard parts whenever possible, use standard part whenever possible. Use standard parts whenever possible. Then seventh one, use the material, use the material, comma, part, use the material, comma, part, best suited for the purpose, best suited for the purpose. Best suited for the purpose. Okay, over. Then eighth one, the cost of the component, the cost of the component used, the cost of the component, the cost of the component used should be proportional to its use or function. The cost of the component used, the cost of the component used should be proportional to its use or function, should be proportional to its use or function. Then the ninth one, here ninth one is repeated. Okay, so instead of this, write down use use proper use proper tooling and manufacturing methods taking into consideration the quantities, taking into consideration the quantities, taking into consideration the quantities. Use proper toolings and manufacturing methods taking into consideration the quantities. Taking into consideration the quantities. Okay. Then the last one, purchase the part, purchase the part, purchase the part instead of manufacturing, purchase the part instead of manufacturing, in-house, in-house, purchase the part instead of manufacturing in-house, comma, if suitable supplier can provide the part of a good quality, if suitable supplier can provide the part of a good quality, can provide the part of a good quality at the reasonable price, at the reasonable price. Okay, these are the guidelines or the principles for the value analysis. Okay, for the value analysis. Okay, so the next one, scope of value analysis. Okay, scope of value analysis. So everyone knows that the cost of the product is very much important, as if it will not match up with its functions, then the sale of that particular product will be lesser in the market, and the revenue generation will be lesser for the industry. Okay, lesser for the industry. So, and it will also helps to reduce the production cost. It will also helps to reduce the production cost. Okay, so increase the revenue by reducing the production cost. That is the one part related to the value analysis. If you perform the value analysis, the cost of a production will get reduced, or the cost of the manufacturing will get reduced. The second advantage of value analysis, if the cost of a product in the market will get reduced, then the the revenue for the company or the profit for the company will get increased as the sale of that particular product will get increased in the market. Okay. Then the second advantage, that is nothing but that is development as practiced in many firms, where it follows the realization of a design and combination through the specification to remove cost by substituting the standards and relaxing tolerance and finishes. Okay, so we know that how much important the tolerances or the limits in manufacturing of any product during the meeting part. Okay, so uh, in while designing any component, okay, so designer need to consider all the aspects of a cost, okay, and all the functionality of the product. Okay, so that particular product should satisfy the customer according to its functions, and it will be cost less for the customer. Okay, it will be cost less for the customer. So lesser cost in the design will be happen if that particular component, we can say that it will not over design. It will not over design means what? If you not add up the unwanted features in that particular product, then and then only the cost of the product will get reduced. Then and then only the cost of the product will get reduced. And the further parts is related to the manufacturing, which processes required to manufacture or to add up that particular features, that cost will also get reduced. So it is practice for the designers, it is practice for the manufacturer to reduce the cost of the component, to reduce the cost of the component. Now here the third advantage is nothing but related to the purchase analysis. Okay, it will also help to purchase the component. Okay, most of the companies bought out their parts or the assembly parts from another companies. So in that case, the value analysis helps to select the proper vendor, okay, which will fulfill the desired quality and with a cheaper cost, with a cheaper cost for the components. Okay, so purchasing analysis, which systematically searches for a cheaper bought out components or services, probably by seeking the alternatives or a fresh basis for a price negotiation. Okay, so it will help to reduce the price of a component also. If you can say that any of the vendor is providing a good quality component, and you have selected that vendor, in that case you have to negotiate the price. That is nothing but that vendor propose some price, and you want to reduce the price. So on which basis you are going to reduce the price? So for that purpose, the value analysis will help you to reduce the price of the component which are bought out from the vendors. Then the method study. So one of the segment of any industrial engineering is nothing but a method study. Okay, method study is nothing but what? Which methods are required and how much time required to perform the specific operation on one of the product. Okay, how much time required to perform the specific operation on one of the product. Okay, so that is nothing but what? Method study. And it will implement, it will produce the cost required to produce that particular component. Okay, so method study produces the time required and the required task to produce that component, and which will head to the cost inclusion to perform that particular operation in that particular product. Okay, on that particular product. So method study, the part of work study that studies and analyzes work of any kind in a disciplined manner that leads to improvement in. Okay, that is nothing but methods. So consider that if you want to produce one product, and for that purpose which kinds of operations are required. Let us say if we are going to produce one component on a VMC machine or a CNC machine. Okay, so for that what will be the procedure? So procedure is nothing but, first of all, you have to borrow, or you have to take the material from the purchase department or from the store. Okay, then you have to install that particular product on or that particular raw material in VMC machine. So for that purpose, you have to tighten the screws or holding or tighten the chucks like that. Okay. Or if it is automatic, then you have to push up, you have to press that button, and it will be automatically lock that particular. And then once the interior processes inside the VMC machine or inside the CNC machine, that the first tool come and it will complete its task, then second tool will come and it will complete next task. So we have to segregate the work. Okay, we have to segregate the work. That is nothing but work study in a small operations, and time required for that particular operation we have to mention. Okay, so that particular time consumes the machine time also, and that will consume the time of a worker which is working on that particular machine. So idle time will be calculated and the process time will be calculated. So on that basis we can say that. So as we know that we are paying, or the industries are paying for any worker for working in that particular industry for a stipulated time period. Let us say 8 hours that particular worker is working. So 1 minute is also, if that worker working on one of the product, then if you say 1 minute is required to produce one component, so that particular component is also the cost of that particular component is also inclusive of a worker salary. Okay, worker salary. So in that manner, how much you will reduce the time period required to produce the component, that will be the profit for the company. Okay, so that is nothing but simply a method study. Eliminate the unwanted processes from the manufacturing processes, or reduce the time of a manufacturing, that will lead to the method study. That will lead to the method study. As you are performing the value analysis, it will help for the method study. It will help for the method study, and that will be helpful to reduce the processes of a manufacturing, and which will lead to reduce the time required to produce the component, which will lead to reduce the tool wear, which will lead to the electricity reduction in electricity consumption, and consequently all these factors will lead to increase the profit of a company, and it will lead to reduce the cost of the product. Okay, in this manner this value analysis will help to method study. Okay, so write down the scope of value analysis. scope of value analysis Scope of value analysis. Scope of value analysis. Scope of value analysis. First one. Organize the cost reduction analysis. Organize the cost reduction analysis. Organize the cost reduction analysis. Organize the cost reduction analysis, by which accountants accountants analyze accountants analyze accountants analyze costs in products. Accountants analyze cost in products, by which accountants analyze costs in product or procedure, analyze cost in product or procedure, comma, the ranking of their elements, the ranking of their elements in a descending order, in a descending order of a magnitude, in a descending order of magnitude, and in informed challenge, to each, and in informed challenge to each starting with the starting with the starting with the most important. Second one, developed as practiced in many firms. Developed as practiced in many firms where it follows the realization of a design where it follows realization of its design. Okay, we will stop here. Actually, the electricity problem, due to electricity problem, presentation has been stopped and our time is also over. So just put up your roll numbers in the chat box. The remaining part we will discuss in the next lecture. Remaining student, just put up your roll number in the chat box and you can leave. नारायण व्यवहारे, महेश शिंदे, पूजा कांबळे, अक्षय साठे, विजाज शेख, मयूर पावसे, राहुल बदाने, वैभव दांडगे, गणेश कुंभार. If you have put up your roll number, just leave this meeting. Ganesh Kumbar, Mayur Pause, only two are remaining. Just put up your roll number and you can leave. Vaibhav Dandge, have you put up your roll number? Okay, I'm going to stop this meeting now. So further data will not be recorded. Onkar Mali, have you put up your roll number in the chat box? Just put up roll number and you can leave. Okay, I'm going to stop this meeting now.